Have you ever wondered why gardening is a bit like magic? Think about it. You've got this tiny seed and it's suddenly, under the right conditions, it bursts into life, it germinates. Now, why is that? Well, in this video, I want to go through and just share some reasons why I think that God is always in the garden. Hence the title, Gardening with God. So as I said, most people when they garden, they'll start from seed. Sure, some people buy plant starts, but most people when they grow things, they start with a seed. Why does the seed grow into a certain plant? Why does it even grow at all? Why do we even have seeds? Why do we even have life? They're the bigger questions, which I want to kind of just share in this video. We know that life instinctively comes from life. You know, humans are the product of two humans, their affections. Furniture is the result of a carpenter, designer designing it, using their brain and their skills to create. We see it everywhere. Cars are made, cars are manufactured. Everything, that's not life, but it's made. But life comes from life. Animals are the cause of animals. How can life begin at all? Let alone the universe, right? But how can life have begun? I think it's most plausible that there is a divine designer behind everything living on this planet. I've already covered DNA in a different video, but I think it's extremely applicable to this topic of gardening as well. Because think about it, going back to the seed, how does the seed know when to germinate? Think about it, seed has to sense. Right? Seeds have biological senses. Seeds have to sense somehow when the conditions are just right, when it's the right temperature, the right moisture, the right amount of light or darkness or whatever, the correct growing medium. How do seeds know? There has to be some kind of biological sensor. And we know that sensors are very intricate, complex items. So how do seeds grow into plants? And then once those conditions are met, why do they keep growing from a tiny seed into a huge plant, right? If it's a tree, it could be 30, 40 feet high, right? These giant redwoods in America from a small seed. How do you get more and more and more from something tiny? Yes, it uses energy from the sun, it uses nutrients, but why does it grow? Those seeds are programmed. It's built into its genetics, into its DNA as a program. And we've already covered before that programs require a programmer. When there's instructions and information, it requires a mind. That's why God is always in the garden. Now, in my garden, I grow mainly edible things, particularly chilies. I love growing chilies. I like to make fermented hot sauce, powders, chili flakes, chili jams, you name it. I like to grow all the, even I love to chop raw chilies and mix it in cooking, like salsas or Indonesian dabu-dabu. I love growing eggplants and cucumbers and kangkung and pak choy and all different Asian greens, corn sometimes. We've got curry tree growing over there. Right next to me here is a type of rose apple in the guava family. I like lemongrass I'm looking at over there. I like to grow all different things. Of course, I want to harvest them. I want to, provide for me and my family in some way. But gardening provides so much more than just food. I like to think of gardening as an analogy for life. Things can grow in the garden. Things can be going very well. Things can be growing and doing well in our life as well. Maybe projects we're working on, they seem to be working. Just like with certain plants we're growing, the seedlings are growing healthy, they're looking lush, they're looking disease-free, pest-free. Things can be going great and you're feeling positive. You're feeling really optimistic about the future. But then, just like in life, things can go wrong. Maybe once you put the plants into the ground or into a pot, then maybe diseases take hold, pests, or other things that you don't know what's happening. Just like in life as well, things can be going smoothly and then all of a sudden things can come from nowhere and mess our plans up. They can derail us. They can, make us think very negatively about things. It's the same as gardening, but also how do we react to these situations? That's the most important thing. I think it's human nature, for many people to start looking out, to start looking what caused these things in my life. And we can do that with gardening as well. Why does this plant look sick? Is it disease? Is it pest? Is it environmental factors? Is it too much water, not enough water? Too much fertilizer, not enough fertilizer? Is it not the best growing medium? We can and we should look at external factors. But I think first thing to do is to look at ourselves, right? What impact or influence did we have on the results? This also applies to life. Yes, we should look at external factors, right? Whether it's the political atmosphere, societal atmosphere, things that are happening in the economy. All these things can have an impact on our life, but very often we don't look within ourselves. When there's a problem, do we start blaming other people, blaming situations, instead of asking questions, reflecting, did I cause any of these things to happen? Was I an influencing factor? If we always look externally and try to blame other people, blame other things, very often we're not going to grow because we're not addressing the root issue. So things I've learned from gardening, right? Honestly, I have caused so much damage and I've destroyed and killed many plants because of inexperience, because of too much water, not enough sunlight, not the best growing medium, not the best position in the garden, and other factors. Those were factors that I had control of. And it's very easy to start looking, oh, it was a pest or it was a disease or it was something else. And it might be, but very often it's not. Very often it's our inputs into a situation which can affect the output. And it's the same in life. Our inputs into situations will affect the outcome. We cannot control external factors, but we can control how we respond to those factors. So if there are plants that are having disease or pests, instead of getting angry and blaming it and then giving up, right, having this negative outlook, think, okay, there are pests, there are diseases. What do I do next? How do I try to prevent the diseases? How do I try to prevent the pests? And it's just as in life. How do I deal with the ups and downs in life? I can't control what other people say or do or think. I can control how I react. And I think that's how, gardening is also more than just eating the produce. Gardening is actually being able to apply those things into our life. So I just want to end on this note, right? Gardening can also have implications for our spiritual life as well. Not just our practical life, but our spiritual life. I give thanks to God always. Every day I pray, I start my prayers by thanking God for something. Even if I'm having not a bad season, a bad day, having a bad time, I'm in a bad mood, whatever. I always say thanks to God for something. Thank you for my life. Thank you for giving me this amazing gift of life. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for my children, my family. Thank you for my job. Start thanking Him for things. Once you have that positive mindset, that will change the way you think and feel about not only God, but also the way you think and feel about other people. Because if you're going to be thankful to God when things are not going good, right? If you can find things to be thankful for in all times of your life, this is going to have profound spiritual and also practical implications. It's very easy to blame God for our situation. Instead, we need to say thank you to God for the things that we have, not for the things we don't have. Same with our parents, right? We should always say thank you to our parents for things we have, not begrudge them for things that we don't have. It comes from a heart of humility. If we have this heart of humility, this is gonna, I think, the more we practice it, and it's not an overnight thing, the more we practice it, our thoughts, our mind are going to be renewed. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. God is always in the garden. God is always with us in our lives. Whether we realize it or not, whether we want it to be true or not, God is always with us. And if we reach out to him and be thankful to him, he's going to be gracious and he's going to be always there with us. So I hope you enjoyed this very unscripted video, but it's a video I've been wanting to share. And if you liked it, share the video, comment, like the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And remember, faith is not fairy tales and God is real.